What's up, everybody? All right, guys. Today we have an amazing webinar. I'm gonna announce our topic today. I know you all adding right now to the live streaming, and let me give you a couple simple rules. What's gonna happen today, as you guys watching us on the different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and any other platforms. We've been connected in the groups. Don't worry, we see every your comment. So this way, if you guys do the comments, we can see them in the chat. So please make sure, if you have anything to ask, it will be also fantastic to answer right on the live call. But I know a lot of you will look at this webinar and see this webinar on the recordings. So please don't worry as well. If you look at us if you're watching this webinar after it's been recorded, still you can type a comments, and we're gonna see this, and we're gonna follow up with you on a public answer, or maybe we're gonna directly answer to you if there's something sensitive, and you would like to get answers anyway. Also, at the same time, guys, we have a couple promotions for you today. One of them, let me just add you a little screen right here. We have an amazing tool that we just recently improved and developed. It's called reimbursements with the company sellerize.com. That's our internal tool that we use for our company. And as we usually say, it takes you about 60 seconds to get all your money back from Amazon. There's no commission. The beauty of this is there's no commission. There's no any fees that you will pay as a for getting your money back from Amazon. And it's literally take you a few steps to get requests from Amazon. Let me just quickly show you. When you log into to the Sellerize, you're gonna see exactly amount of money that Amazon owes you. There's a different categories of products and reimbursements that Amazon didn't pay you, or maybe they incorrectly charge you. We'll also give you the list. So once you choose the list, you will just click next, and then we automatically will help you to generate a copy of the case. Once you will click on create the case will be automatically open in the Seller Central, because Sellerize is official network partner with the Amazon, so you can directly work from your Sellerize dashboard. You don't need to log into seller account to take care of these cases and get money back from Amazon. The beauty of this, it's absolutely free. It means we're not charging you any commissions. You can go and sign up for the free trial. The main part why you better to check how much money Amazon owes you, because Amazon has some specific time when you can get money back from Amazon. There's like between 3 to 18 months based on the case. And also we calculate how much money you lost forever. So don't wait, just go sign up to Sellerize. It's a free trial. You will see right away how much money Amazon owes you. You can request this money within your free trial. If you decide to continue going with Sellerize, you always can upgrade for the paid plan, which is start from $19 per month. It's not a lot, and it will help you to get this. So it's actually damn simple. It's only 60 seconds per week probably to take care of your reimbursements. But sometimes if your account is huge, maybe it will take you like 15 minutes. So beside of paying a ton of percentages for service providers, then you can just do it yourself without losing much of the money. And you can sign up with this QR code. That would be one of the ways for you to gain. Specifically on Q4, Amazon doing a lot of mistakes because the operations is overloaded. So Accellerize will help you to calculate everything, and you will be able to get this money back from Amazon. Also, I would like to share with you that we support from Florida. We have a huge warehouse here. We just double the size of the warehouse. It's called Asa Warehouse. It's our second project. We focus on order fulfillments, on removals. We help a lot of sellers with their inserts. We also have for the dropshipping guys, repackaging, bundling. There are so many services that this Asa Warehouse can do. Even though if you have some like specific request, please reach out to us. There's a contact details. You can just go to our website, or you can use Telegram or WhatsApp, or even you can just send email to partner@asawarehouse.us, and we're gonna help you with any logistical issues or problems that you want to guys to solve. With all this promotion, guys, thank you so much for listening. I would like to announce you a new topic that we're gonna discuss today. It's a SEO optimization that will help you to even double or maybe even triple sales on Amazon with these amazing techniques. And that's one of the main topics that you guys will focus probably in 2023 to dominate your competition and win your market share. And today, as a presenter, is it Stephen Pop? Please, your mic is yours.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me on, Dima.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. So let's just maybe give a quick overview to everybody how the previous couple years in Amazon optimization used to look like, and what's maybe new techniques and new focuses people can establish in upcoming year.
So we'll start with the inherency. PPC costs are up. Amazon has taken the entire search engine and basically halved it. And now your amount of space to work with for earned media has really shrunk. So the need to focus on SEO has gone up. Why? Because you're paying more for every single click you get from PPC, and the competition is stiffer. So that's the inherency. The history, a couple of years ago, I started advocating for a heavier text contribution to a listing. So that means more copy on a listing. The primary driver of that is A+ content. And I physically proved with a scientific method that A+ content indexes. Ever since then, we've been documenting new SEO techniques and additional ways that you can grow your organic traffic. Now, for those of you who still suspect that A+ content doesn't index, here's how you can replicate my scientific study. Go in, edit one single photo's alt text with 100 characters of Spanish words related to your product, and I pretty much guarantee it'll index in under 48 hours. That's how you know. All right, so since then, we've seen a lot of developments. The search term field switched to bytes for about a year, and you could get an extra 25% of your juice from there because they didn't count spaces. It's kind of been flipping back and forth. This year, they launched the brand story, which is another horizontal module we could talk about with lots of SEO juice. And the biggest development of 2022, though, was brand analytics. And they gave us this really awesome portal where you can track your market share. So happy to dive in wherever you'd like, Dima. I have lots of different SEO techniques and phases. What do you think would interest your audience the most?
Yeah, recently I did a webinar about how we optimize our listings with the keywords, where we focus on actual keywords conversions that we have available in Sellerize. But overall, when you build in your SEO strategy, Steven, how do you build? What's your techniques to build title and bullet points, and how do you choose what you're gonna focus on from the beginning?
Well, the first step of an Amazon listing, you're going to take your top 10 competitors. If it's a new item, if it's your current item, you're going to include your item in that mix. And then you're going to run a keyword gap analysis, or basically figure out, okay, if there's top 10 competitors, how many of them are ranking in the top 10, top 20 for certain keywords? You're going to then rank those keywords in order of preference, in order of size and contribution, as well as how many of them are ranking well for them. After you've done that sort of research, and that's very complicated research, I might add, then you start to build out your title, keyword stuff the hell out of it, keyword stuff, the bullet points, the alt text of your photos, the A+ content, the search term field, and every attribute you have available. Make sure you're playing in the field. The most common mistakes that I see that are made in 2022 is, number one, people are not putting text outside of the images of A+ content. Number two, they're not putting alt text inside of the images of their A+ content. Number three, they're not putting up a brand story. And number four, they're adding commas or other jargon or duplicate words to the back end search term field. So those are the most common mistakes that I've been seeing this past year.
Speaking about putting words inside the image in A+ content, what's the requirements like you focus on? What's your strategy?
So let's do some live demo. If you want to pull up my screen here, I'll kind of walk and show you some of this live. It's one of my favorite ways to do conversations like this, is just go into a listing and just poke around, right? So here's one of my soap listings. I'm an Amazon seller myself. I do run an agency with 300 brands as well, for those that want to check that out. But in any case, as you're looking down this list, we have a parented, different scents. We've done some interesting things with the main image to try and maximize click-through rating. The main image has a massive impact on SEO. If you have a higher CTR, you're going to have more likely to organically both index and, more importantly, rank higher for search terms. And so I always start with the main image when trying to fix a listing. One of the most important things that you can do on a main image that most people don't realize is update the packaging or the image, Photoshop it if you're not ready to do the packaging, you want to test something out, and put physical words onto it as large as possible. So cold press, artisan soap bars. The text here is probably on the smaller side, but this is an actual photo and how we do our packaging. But another example I could show you that looks like this, one that we recently did was the Happy Me Journal. And we more than 5x the CTR. And you can see here's the new photo. And we'll go click on one of the listings. I'm going to click on one of the listings that's not the sponsored ad. And in here, if we look at some of the old listings, here's what was the original main image right here. So they left it on the listing. This is what the customer receives. Here's the new main image. And so Dima, this is your webinar, but I'm going to ask you a question. What do you notice the difference between these two images is? What's the first thing that pops out for you?
Yeah, I like that. That's I can see clearly it's a kid's journal and the age of the targeted customer, age 3 to 6.
So parents who have a 3 to 6 year old are now 10 times more likely to click on the listing, which is good. Why? Because now those are the sort of people that you want to sell to, and then they're more likely to click. And so simple things like adding the phrase kids journal, just smack dab, just straight in your face, and a little starburst, as I like to call them, with the age 3 to 6. This more than 5x the CTR, 5x. And the amount of traffic and conversion rate the listing is now receiving is substantial. So these are the sort of things I focus on something like that. That tip that we just gave is honestly one of the most powerful things somebody can do in less than 10 minutes today and go in and really make an impact to their listing. As we scroll through the listing, you have to start your listing with your brand name, although I try and get away with not doing that on new listings typically. And then stuff everything you can in here, right? And as you scroll down,
as we were speaking, sorry for interrupting you. As we were speaking, I do a lot of onboardings with the sellers and speak with the sellers, and I see what's their routines, and I can tell like a lot of people, they don't upgrade their images for the last 3-4 years. They just keep them the same way. But you need to understand, guys, that the market is changing, like how people would trends is changing. And what I see, this is the brilliant ideas when you can change. This is what we also test. Sometimes we don't change package yet, but as a test, we try to put like a package on the top, make a bigger letters. So maybe on the actual jar or maybe on the actual package, the letters look smaller, but at the same time, we're trying to improve the packaging for better click-through rate.
It's no longer about retail. It's no longer about what it looks like on the shelf at the store. It's what's in the main image. And really my litmus test here, for those that aren't quite convinced yet, is as follows. Text is for robots. Photos and images are for humans. And so once you understand that litmus test, you get behind that, you realize very quickly, okay, well, if that's the case, if humans are no longer reading, because we're not, then you have to go all in on some of this photo work and what we're talking about. So with that in mind, you're going to try and stuff as many keywords into the title. Here's the bullets, right? Talk about some features, but in however you slice it, you're stuffing keywords. Then when we get to the newest module, this is the newest thing that almost nobody has done yet. Like we're talking maybe 3 to 5% of Amazon sellers have done this yet, and it's super easy. This is a new A+ content module. It stands alone by itself, and it's called the brand story. And one of my favorite things I like to point out about this, like if you scroll up, what do you see here? You see a row of competing products. Now, here is, by the way, my new soaps, which I have new packaging. It's a direct competition to Dr. Squatch there. You can see the similarities and whatnot. But what's the consumer has been trained to do for years is what? They click on this right button, and then they click on all of this different product here, right? Well, what better way to train the consumer to do the exact same thing except inside of your own content? Right here, we have all this text that helps with SEO. We have each and all of these different photos. I mean, look how many different products I link to here. I'm plugging in unrelated products. I'm plugging in other soaps and all these things. Now, check this out. Right click, inspect any one of my Age of Sage listings, and you're going to come in and see 100 characters of unique alt text right here. So you can see I have Spanish, I believe, right here behind that specific image in the alt text. That's a big deal considering if you started to count how many images we have here, I mean, there's like 20 images, 20 times 100 characters. How many different characters of SEO keywords do you want to go chase? Well, now you have a place to put every single one of those. Get down to
I
the
agree, I agree with you, especially from the image image text standpoint. The reason why I can like 100% can prove what you're just saying, because sometimes you can be blocked for just the image, and on the image there was a text that is kind of not related. Or just a quick example, let's say you're gonna put buttocks on the image, just to type the words, and you're gonna see the Amazon will find out this. They're gonna index you, and they're gonna block you because you cannot use this word in your listings.
So there's a lot of do's and don'ts, right? Depending on your category. And obviously, if it's a health related product, there's a lot of things you have to be very careful about. I like gift giving categories. That's why I do a lot of my work in these, a lot of my videos that talk about this. But continuing the conversation, next we're in the A+ content here, and this is called premium A+ content. To get access to premium A+ content, you need to submit 15 unique A+ contents. Doesn't have to be 15 SKUs. It could be 15 designs on one SKU. Doesn't matter. But you got to submit 15 of them and a brand story in the course of 1 year. So do that. Super important. And then what you'll notice here about the premium A+ content, any of the text that's inside of the image like this does not index, does not help you. It's not in the code specifically. So all of this work is just for aesthetics. It's just nice looking. As we scroll down though, you'll notice I've got a video in here. I've got crawlable text, and a freaking ton of space is used. Why? Because as soon as you scroll past my A+ content, what do you see? You see, again, competing products. And so it's really important to keep that in mind. My favorite module in A+ content is another place you can stuff keywords, right? So in here, down below, you'll see all of this different product that we've linked to other products that we think that consumers of this product would be interested in. And so in here, you can get additional keywords. You can repeat words, lots of different things. If you're trying to target Father's Day or birthday or whatever, you have a lot of other additional opportunities to take advantage of. So that's kind of a quick tutorial on the front end. Happy to look at some back end stuff. This is the brand analytics piece. And in here, what's really cool about this is every one of your brands, as well as each ASIN specifically inside of each brand, has their own data automatically tracked by Amazon. And so what you can do is you can go week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, and see how your market share is doing. And so I have a case study that's really cool about this. I'm going to go over to my site where I have a bunch of information about this particular module. It's called the ICAP, Impressions, Clicks, Add to Carts, and Purchases. And I did a little case study. And in here, the keyword sage candles for cleansing house on this particular ASIN, within 7 weeks, I 3x'd my impressions, my clicks, my add to carts, and my purchases. This was not a keyword on my radar. But what happened is when I was looking at my brand analytics, I noticed that it was super high up. So right here, you can see it's at rank 7. Most of the year, it's in rank 1 for me. And what Amazon is doing is they're signaling this is an important keyword for you. Now, if you're a PPC expert and you don't do any SEO work, you can still act on this. Come in, find a keyword that Amazon says is important that you don't have a campaign for, and simply make one. And guess what? You're going to improve your sales. And most likely the conversion rate on those keywords is going to be good and fantastic. So what we notice when we go over to one of my listings about the Sage smudge sticks. So here's my store. I've got a bunch of different products in here. And here are the smudge sticks. So I have over 1,200 ratings. I was #1 in new releases for incense a year ago when it first came out. Had a successful product. Well, this product right here is not a candle. The keyword that we were looking at was sage candles for cleansing house. Well, I got really curious. I'm like, why is Amazon telling me this is important for my product? This is not important. This is stupid. I don't understand. So what I did is I went and looked at it. And what do we see on the search results here? But mostly primarily, especially in the organic results, candles. and everybody and their dogs has sage candles. Well, what happened is that because my impression share was okay, and my click through rate was insanely high, and this is my product right there in the ad, I noticed that if I spent more money as well as SEO and PPC, that I would increase my conversion rate and control of this keyword. And so I then basically own 1 out of every 5 searches who makes a purchase on this keyword now buys my product, despite the fact it's not a candle. So this is a use case and example proving how it's really powerful data. All you got to do is go to the brand analytics tab inside of Amazon. And if you're curious, you've never been here before, you don't know how to get here, click on the drop down menu like this. You can go over to a bunch of information in here under brands and simply click on brand analytics. This is the primary search query performance report right there and a bunch of information. So as you come in through here, if we look at that same keyword we looked at previously, sage candles for cleansing house, I've lost a little bit of ground. I'm now at 4% of the brand share on impressions, still a really healthy 11% of share of the clicks, 18% of the add to carts. And as we scroll to the far right, I'm now at 5% of the purchase rate. So I've lost some ground on 2 of the 4 levers there. But at the end of the day, it's proof that if you spend time and work on something, you put it into the listing. And so if we go back to this listing, this tab right here, I put it straight into the title. What you notice right after that is I put a Spanish keyword too, right? How many of you guys are putting Spanish in your US market Amazon listings today? Kind of sounds sketchy, right?
Mhm.
Well, here's the thing. It's the fastest growing sector in the States, and if you got to pay attention to it. And so if you're looking at brand analytics, you're going to notice Spanish terms are starting to show up a lot more and more because heavy amounts of immigration, and that's the biggest demographic. The other thing too is you can go down to some of your text below in the A+ content, and you can put lots of different emphasis on some of these keywords and stuff it in different locations. Lots of great opportunities to do that. So that was kind of a monologue there, so I'll stop my screen share and come back here. But what do you think, Dima?
Yeah, it looks fantastic, especially with all this new information that Amazon keep releasing. I think in 2023 we will see way more stuff that Amazon sharing with us as a data, which is great for optimization. Before we was just walking blind in this all this things, like especially for the last couple of years, people was uh, mm, focusing a lot on a search volume per keywords, while for me it was a big problem, because especially when you're focusing specifically on a search volume, you don't know exactly what's going to happen to the keywords and to your ASINs. That's why we developed a different technology to rebuild our SEO strategies, and I already like share with the many other people, and they found this very helpful for them as well. Like when we was talking about like keyword positions, now we're more focusing on top positions. We're gonna see like, okay, what exactly we need to get to the top, and how we can get there. So that's what we help people to do. That's part of our game right now. We're kind of a little bit shifting from standard approach of optimization. So
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to optimize every single field, and
exactly.
you cannot launch without presenting all of these things. So if you get a new product, we're coming into January, and there's a bunch of new products you're going to probably start launching in 2023. And so one of the most important things you need to do is set that launch date to the future, and don't let the listing go live until FBA is checked in, A+ content is live, ads are set up, all of your images and listing is fully optimized with SEO in mind and designed for aesthetics. So you're going to do everything you can to generate as much traffic as possible with the highest conversion rate, all during the honeymoon period. And then you're going to be able to launch your product and do better. So these are some of the core things I think everybody needs to do on their listings. Very easy to action, just a lot of work. And some people are kind of lazy Amazon sellers. They just want to cash in that hashtag passive income, right? And we all know how much Amazon
Yeah,
is passive
like
income.
like some of my good friends, they love to say, let's pretend it's a passive income.
Pretend, yes.
Like, yeah, let's pretend it's a passive income. Yeah, eventually Amazon, guys, is just daily operations, daily focus, continuous optimization. Even if you can grow your even if you can grow your conversion by 1% or 0.5%, that's 0.5% in the short term doesn't look much, but in the long run, it will start to move your position by position, and then this is how you're gonna start to win a market share. What's Steven,
Yeah, very actionable.
what's your target conversion rate on the listings? What's you satisfied with?
Well, I think every category is going to be a little bit different. So if you're, let's say you're in the outdoor category, you might have a higher conversion rate. Competition's pretty easy. But if you're in the technology category, maybe you're selling, some sort of accessory, your conversion rate will be substantially lower. So what I like to say is whatever your average category conversion rate is, which is now publicly available inside of one of the brand analytics tabs, try and make sure that you're 2% or 10%, so 2 percentage points or 10% higher than whatever your competitors are doing. So for example, if your competitor is at 10% conversion rate, your category is at 10%, you would probably want to shoot for 12% as your target, 11% minimum. So 2 percentage points being that 12 or 10% higher than the average being at 11. And so that would kind of be the range I think would be, a target range that you should try and chase. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, if I pull back up that report, I'm going to share my screen again here. And what's really interesting about some of the analytics that is available is you also have the conversion rate down to the keyword now, right? So I just picked up this ASIN in question. This is the men's soap listing. And what we know now is not only how many people searched for it in the week of week 51. So there were 2,500 searches. We know that of all of the clicks, I got 27% of them, which is an insanely high number, right? So every time my product showed up, I had a very high CTR. And as we scroll to the right, 8% of people added it to carts, but only 4% converted. So that's a pretty major fall off between the add to carts and purchases. This is very common inside of the gift giving category. But at the end of the day, if we scroll through and we notice that, hey, I've got a conversion issue on this particular term, perhaps I need to spend more time focused on anxiety reduction or conversion techniques that will help me with this. Right.
But
so
you know what,
go
Steven,
ahead.
try to change to the week number 48. You will see the difference.
I'm not sure I follow you. Go ahead again.
Change to the week 48 or 49.
Week 48. Yeah. So a little bit more on the Black Friday, right? So
Yeah.
men's soap gift sets. If we scroll to the right, now my conversion rate actually went down even further. So
Oh wow. No,
yeah.
maybe put like, because this is the thing. I think it was the Black Friday. Let's put one more week, because your product is very gift oriented. So
It
they
is.
can let's do 49.
All right, we'll go to 49 here.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
when things go up. But look, at the same time, the traffic is getting higher. That's why it looks like it's getting deferred. So it depends on the
There's a lot of
category.
people looking for it, suffice it to say, right?
Yeah.
And so if you click on the keyword, you can also see how everybody else is doing, what else is showing up. So my number one competitor is Dr. Squatch. We can see the price. I'm priced very competitively. We've got lots of good impressions. Here's how my click share is doing compared to them. Oh, wow, these guys have 11% click-through share. Let's go check them out. Like, what's going on with this listing? Why is this listing getting a higher CTR than mine? Why, what is it that they're doing that feels unique or feels special? And then you can look at their main image and see how they box it up and whatnot. And this looks like a pretty good list. Pretty good listing here. So these are, I think there's just a lot of data that's available that didn't exist before. And I think sometimes Amazon sellers are overwhelmed by data paralysis. Or if not that, they're lazy and just ignoring the data altogether and not even checking it. And so to survive in 2023, that's got to change. Sellers are going to have to come in and they're going to have to work harder optimizing their listings. And if they don't, they're going to shrink. And it's inevitable. it's a if we tie this back into the intro, if PPC costs are going higher, you have two choices. One, spend more of your margin on advertising, or two, spend more of your time optimizing for earned media. And then when somebody goes over to Amazon.com and they type in men gift soap sets like this, and then they start to see the products that are available and you start to do your research, how do you stack up? I am organically ranked number 4 for this term, but I'm getting beat by Bali soap. And that means I've got to do a lot of work to try and compete with those guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me show you something.
So I'll pop off the screen share since you want to show something. Go ahead.
Yeah. Give me just a second. Let me just log in to my secret tools,
Secret tools. I love it. I love it.
What do you say, man? Gift soap?
So I use the term men gift soap sets. Yes. Men's. So the term that was in my brand analytics was men's with an S on it, soap gift sets. But no matter how you slice it, what I really think is awesome about brand analytics is that it automatically sorts it by importance of where you need to focus as a brand. So if you're overwhelmed by data, all you got to do is come in, look at where they're ranking the terms for you and assess it. And I found it to be pretty accurate, which is why I pay a lot of attention to this report and I use it quite a bit in my own business. While you're looking that up, just to give a little bit of a high overview, for those that haven't followed me on the SEO subject before, I like to think of myself as an SEO thought leader in the Amazon space. We work on 4 phases of SEO during our processing of a listing. Phase 1 is all about indexing. Phase 2 is about incremental indexing. And notice when I use the word indexing, I mean literally just show up in the top 300 results for a keyword. So right around day 30, you need to index for at least 800 keywords for an average category. Phase 3 SEO, we focus on ranking specifically in the strike zone. And that means take those keywords that you're in rank 20 through 50 and try and lift them up to the top 20 results. So if you've got 55 keywords in organic rank 20 through 50, spend all of your time working on those during SEO phase 3. And then finally, SEO phase 4 is all about market share. Forget the indexing, forget the ranking. How much market share do you have on these keywords? And try and win more and more market share. And that's what you're going to use that brand analytics report that we just talked about.
Yeah, let me show you something. I wanna just show like where's my okay, here's my screen. So sorry for that. So let's say if I go to Keyword Hunter, like and I just type keyword that you say men soap gift set. I can use other keywords, but it's just an example. The system will calculate every single ASIN that was ever sold, and then also gonna combine every single keyword that ever been bringing sales to those ASINs. So it's kind of combining the only keywords that making sense and making sales. So we have only 143 keywords that you need to focus on in this specific category. If you're gonna change it somehow, like let's see this way, like let's see which keywords are the most important one for us. So men's soap has 13% conversion on the top. Bar soap for men, 20%. That's a very good keyword. Bar soap for men, 20% conversion, and has a 60% availability out of the market, which means if you're not in the top, you still have ability to make sales compared to, let's say, keyword. Let me see the other keywords. Let's say keyword. Let's say this one, bar soap natural, has almost no conversion outside of the top 3, which would be very bad if you try to rank for this keyword. You wouldn't be able to make sales. So, but this keyword still brings about 76 sales to the top guys. We can just see who is sell where. Top 1, top 2, top 3. So in this case, I would just if I want to go with the this keyword, it's actually not that big. Let me see. So this keyword by Amazon search rank is only 500,000, which is like on the mid air on the mid edge. Like it's 340 sales per day, per 30 days. Which means it's like not that big to be focused on, honestly. But it has a nice conversion, 16%, which is good for the top three. And that's how the keyword is going on a system. Let me show you. Like it's only getting very good in November and December, and we can see the actual sales. Like we can see the sales
Trend
is like,
lines.
huh?
Trend lines.
Yeah. So this way, like the ranking for this keyword is not that complex, because the keyword is, if you're gonna do like top of the search targeting for this keyword, probably you're gonna get there like pretty much fast, because it's overall is not the biggest keyword. But let's try to like men's soap. We're gonna see how big is this category.
It's gonna get pretty big.
Yeah, let's see, like how many keywords actually bring in sales to that specific search term. It's like you see we got only like 4 extra keywords, but we have here other guys like related products. Oh, you know what? Let's do this way. Let's do the previous search term, and I want to show you your product. Like so. Because related products here, this is the most guys who bring the most amount of contribution to the market in terms of sales. So this way it's gonna help you to see what top keywords this guy is using to bring majority of the sales to their listings. And if I will click on this ASIN, it's gonna show me the whole keywords that are actually working for that guy. Let me see. Usually I download up to 10 ASINs. Then I combine report from Keyword Hunter and 10 of my competitors. I choose the most unique keywords. I remove duplicates, and that's how I built, like in 5 minutes. I built my semantic core just to target for title, for PPC, because this report showing only keywords that are making sales and contribution in this specific category. They don't do anything else. Maybe the keyword is.
That's really cool.
Yeah, this is like quite a simple process. This is what we're using inside the company, and then we open doors for other people. We're also gonna feed this with additional data that Amazon just released, so it will help. Like for example, this guy. I'm supposed to have a name of here. This is the body that I yesterday probably we removed this. This is supposed to be the name of the product, but we see the ASIN. It has 80 keywords. It used to have 80 keywords on the top, but now have only 35 that bring in him sales from the top positions. And we can see like what keywords, what exactly keywords he lost and when. I can see like out of top keywords. This is the keywords he lost recently, like December 25, December 20. Like for example, the guy lost keyword men's soap bar from the top. It used to bring him 21 sales, like 71 sales. It brought him 71 sales in the last 30 days. So for this guy, it would be good to focus on this keyword optimization, maybe put more traffic into it, because he just recently lost this position. But we can see some keywords he lost about like February 15, but that's not a big keyword. So what you usually do in this dashboard is much complex to operate. You just download the data just to take a look, but then you can just click here, download the report, and then you're gonna have like an Excel spreadsheet. Then we combine this in Excel spreadsheet because it's a lot of data, and this way we build this semantic course for the products. I have a webinar I can send you later with a more detailed explanation how we optimize eucalyptus soap bar. You would be surprised sometimes what type of keywords are actually bringing sales, and some keywords are like complete waste. So we can see exactly on which date which keyword brought you a sell. So that's also will stay in a report. That's a part of our SEO journey. I know everybody use different techniques, but overall we all come to the point that we want to have a working keyword list that we're gonna focus on, and and then just optimize based on this. So
That's really cool. I think it's important to know like where you're going to get your sales, right? Do all this work, and if you don't have specific keywords producing for you, it's like, well, what was the point, right? You're just working for Amazon at that point. So
yeah, the seller eyes also will show you, like in a hunter, you're gonna see exactly how many sales you need to do through a specific keyword to get to the top three. So which is that's what you focus on basically. You like, hey, I want to optimize for men gift soap, and that's how much sales I get per day, like three. Sometimes you will be surprised the keyword itself bringing only 2-3 sales. We after we search entire Amazon, we realize that the actual keyword positions on Amazon is only responsible for about 45% of sales. Like in some categories, it could be up to 60, but on overall, it could be even lower. And other traffic comes from placements, PPC. That's what I was talking only about organic. So, but like editorial recommendations. I remember about like 4 years ago when, or maybe 5 years ago, when Amazon just rolled out their headline search and a couple other things. You're like, hey, they're already taken 2 organic places, and then they start to take 3, and then they start to take 4, and then they start to take on the middle of the page and inside the listings, like all over the place. Right now, the ads is just distracting your buyer from actually converting into the actual sale. That was a pain in the ass.
competition's getting stiffer, that's for sure.
Yeah. But look, I think you made a very good point. The main image is the one of the most amount of budget you need to spend and focus on optimization in the first, I would say, like 3-4 months of launching the product. Even though, like, if you already like sell your product, I've seen a lot of time people launch the product, it makes them like $3,000-5,000 a month, and they start to treat their ASIN as an ATM machine. But guys, don't you think there's other guys keep researching, keep optimizing? So I would say never slow down on looking at trends, watching webinars like that, just to make sure you stay up with all these continuous changes, because Amazon changing like few times per year, at least like maybe 20.
It's always changing. That's the one thing that you know is going to stay the same.
Yeah,
And all of those external linking strategies and SEO strategies, those are going to come and go. But at the end of the day, some of the basics that we've talked about on today's webinar that I advocate for: main image, title, bullets, A+ content, lots of text, search terms, and the brand analytics that we reviewed. All of those, I guarantee, are going to work next year in 2023. Just guarantee it, because they're
Steven,
basics.
have you ever seen that? Like, for example, let's discuss this topic maybe as well. What if your listing got stuck? Like, imagine you start working, you like Amazon was selling your product, you were selling like 30-40 units a day, maybe 100, wherever number was, feels like it's a normal great working listing. And then suddenly over time, maybe after out of stock, maybe out of some suspension, maybe after PPC went down and you try to do it again, the sales went down to 5 sales, 6 sales per day, or sometimes even like only few sales per week. Kind of invisible suppression, I would say. And you're already doing
Yes.
something. Huh?
Yes, I actually coined the term hidden suppression a couple of years
Oh,
ago.
really?
So
Oh,
if you type in hidden suppression to Google, you'll probably find one of my videos.
oh, nice.
And
I will
and
check this out here.
and so there's a couple of things that can happen. Inside of Seller Central, the title can cause a hidden suppression, the main photo cam, and then third, if you use any particular two-step URLs or basically cheat the SEO system in any external traffic way,
Mhm.
that can cause one of those hidden suppressions. And so there's no cure if it's from an external traffic source. You're dead in the water. They will de-index you if you use some of those techniques in 2023. But when it comes to the title and the main image, those are easy resolvable within 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And there's
So,
no tool on the market that will tell you that the ASIN is hidden or suppressed. But one of my favorite ways to test this myself is simply just type the ASIN into Amazon.com. If it doesn't show up, you have a hidden suppression. If you can find the ASIN and purchase it by putting it into a category and it shows up, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So it doesn't show up on the main search. but it does show up in the category search. That is textbook definition of a hidden suppression. And that's not keyword specific in that particular instance. That's the whole ASIN. Still shows up for PPC, does not show up indexed at all.
When you're using like images upload to Amazon, did you find any difference when you do like just through Seller Central, or when you do this with the cloud services, when you apply with the when you upload images with the link?
Any manual image loading is more likely to cause a trigger or a review of the image. So if you're trying to bend the gray rules of main images, often the case, simply loading it through a template file or a third-party software tool, it's more likely to stick. Now, having said that, I don't do any loading of images outside of manual myself. I like to understand the algorithm as much as possible, and you'll notice a lot of my listings bend the rules all over the place. This is intentional because I like to know how far you can go before getting in trouble. So I can tell my clients, I'm like, look, here's proof you can do this. It works, no problem, do it, and whatnot. And I like to stay to the white hat tactics, but at the same time, main images necessitates being unique or different and adding in some color splotches and doing some changes. And so that's a little bit murkier these days.
What's your resolution on the images to make the bigger on the search results? Do you remember?
So if your pixels are below 1500, you're going to have a challenge. That's for one. And number two, you need to crop the image correctly, right? So if you don't have minimal white space on the top and the bottom, if you have too much, let's say you have 100 pixels of white space on the top, your item's going to look smaller in search results. So those two techniques definitely make sense to me. There's probably additional things you can do to program the image to work better, but I think those are the main two I would suggest.
Awesome. All right, guys. So that was an amazing webinar with Steven. Thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget that we just promoted in the beginning of the webinar that we have for you a software house. So if you need any help with the drop shipping, order fulfillment, storage, bundling, or removals. I know we see a lot of sellers facing inserts issues. If you need a consulting about how inserts should look like, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we deal a lot with this with these services, and we're helping sellers to optimize this. And at the same time, now Q4 is finished. Please make sure you try to get as much reimbursements from Amazon as they can, because they do a lot of mistakes. Just sign up for the free trial with the Sellerize. You're going to see sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The biggest amount of money I've seen from the sellers was $577,000 from one seller. It was insane amount, and especially the guy was using a service provider who was charging percentage. So, and they didn't, they charged them for the reimbursement of $170,000 in June. And then Amazon didn't give this money back, and Sellerize spotted this problem, and they request money back from Amazon without paying any commission. So it was a kind of a big surprise for them, because we was doing onboarding and I saw these numbers. It was completely insane. Please, guys, follow up me on any social media that you register with. I have a Facebook, I have my YouTube channel, and Instagram. Please follow up me on Instagram. And if you have any questions about Sellerize, or any help you need, or any maybe partnership you would like to discover with us, just contact me at admin@sellerize.com. That's my direct email with the Sellerize. I will be happy to help you. And also, please add yourself to our Facebook group, which is called Private Network for USL Sellers. It's like PL Network. And just scan this QR code. Let's build the strong community together and help each other to grow. Thank you so much for being with us on this webinar, Steven. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your expertise, which is always helpful. I follow your Instagram channel all the time. I'm always surprised how fast and how deep you are in knowledge of Amazon. So I was looking for this webinar for a long time. Thank you so much for coming and being today.
Yeah, we do a lot of good fun things together. It's not me against Dima. It's all of us against Amazon, because Amazon's untransparent and it needs to be taken down a notch.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, like helping each other. This is the biggest part. Amazon changing so fast, so we have to stay active and stay up to date to make sure like you keep continue moving. As I'm saying, Amazon, as you said also, Amazon it's not a passive income. It could be for some time, but overall, if you want to keep progressing and keep money coming into your pockets, just stay focused, stay optimized.
Well, I think Damo, you're a great person to follow as well. So thanks for having me on today.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.